All right, so I want you to understand the level of dedication I have to the Wealthy family. Welcome to the show. This is your host Marcel, host of the Wealthy Sibling Podcast, and known as Welcome to Around the City. And we're here to do what? Change our family's money story. We talk about the entire journey from entrepreneurship to good to bad of being a wealthy sibling and a wealthy relative. Like, just what is that to be the successful one or the one that strives for success, you know, out of the family. You already know, man, we investors here, right? That is the cornerstone of how we deem and see ourselves becoming wealthy. Don't you know, the level of dedication is, if you did not know, and you've been watching the show for a minute, you can tell. Scenery's different. I swapped out the studio for tonight's show to be dedicated because this is a week thing. I made a promise to y'all, so I said we're gonna keep it moving, keep going. All right, so uh shout out to us being on episode 42. Uh quote unquote. This is not my quote, but um crazy thing about it is America just lost some jobs. Right? CPI is coming out next week. The Federal Reserve may now have to choose between protecting employment and fighting inflation, all while Wall Street debates on the next rate move, which us as investors, I'm waiting on his rate decision as well. And even I'm starting to lean more towards him going to cut rates. Um, but then even outside of that, man, right here in the city, my home city of Chicago, man, there's teenagers out here building the entrepreneurial spirit. And I love, shout out to Great Matter. And I know I love this so much. That's just one of my first sponsorships. Um, but they're doing a pitch competition in the month of August, which is recognized as Black Business Month. So shout out to y'all, support businesses. Buy my book if you want to support a business, right, in the month of August. Buy my book, A Trade I Made, on Amazon. Google my name, get it in 2 days, and we gone. But the U overall, let's get into it. So the US is expecting jobs to be at a low, right? Especially coming out of July with all the things that are going on. The CPI report continues. What does that mean for stocks and a few other things? So let's talk about it. We gonna get right into it. We gonna be here forever, but I want to give y'all information. Uh, so what the job market? So and this is impactful for you as an investor because you already know the first subject that we're doing. First segment is investor insights, right? And the news impacts investor sentiment. The news does not directly impact the trade, right? If it's doing well, if the fundamentals are good, cool. And profit, the overall direction of the stock should be going up, right? Margin calls, good company, woo woo, right? But as investors, retail or otherwise, news impacts sentiment, which makes you consider all the outcomes. I'll give you an example of today, Friday, a day of shooting on August 7th. The sentiment behind, rate cups coming up next week, um, the shaky decisions around some sentiments of AI, and like one of my insights for me was, Google dropped from 389. I'm not saying every stock needs to keep going, and I'm really uh, eyeing Google, and I think I'm gonna be watching Google for like maybe like 2 weeks at this point. I'll be watching Google, but I say that to say, it's in the tech sector. It's performing along with the other predominant tech stocks, and you like how you go from 380 to 350. Where they do that at and why? That's wild. 380, 380, you pull back to 370. That's a bit of a correction, still a bit of harsh, but it's it's expected in the world of like traders and investors, right? We're gonna look at that, we're going, okay, might be pulling back some. All right, it ran for a good minute, especially if you caught it between 319. I got in at 330, made great money on the trade. We talked about that last episode. So, and when you've been in this while, you don't expect to run forever. So a pullback to 370 for 380 for 370, expected, right? It's all right. 380 to 350. What's going on there? Now, that is an amazing re-entry. You probably won't get a better re-entry from Google that I probably have seen in a while. If you didn't get in at the 318 to 330 range, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Even looking at that 350, 355 is like, yo, I can pull that. Now, I'm gonna do dive. I'm gonna have to do some deep dive research, but that was one of my insights to like, okay, for it to be Google, which is predominant for those name brand stocks, I'm like, okay, what is the market saying, right? So I didn't get in Nvidia, but I got into Uber, rode Uber all the way up, and I've actually been rolling a lot of my positions. At first, I wasn't rolling anything, and I understood the benefit of rolling, especially the day of. You can get into a deeper in the money call at a better advantage if you have a good confirmation on the direction. So I got in at about 70 call, rolled the position in the money towards 367. By the time I woke up, it's at I exited about what I expected to exit, which was 374, right? And Uber's kind of slow, but I made a good amount of money. And I took profit. I took profit with a goal. So here's what I've been fighting. I've been fighting as an investor, as a trader. And I'm going to talk about this with you guys because, bro, I know that y'all are walking into the market. I know that when you listen to me in your car, or you might be listening to this clip, or on YouTube. So be stable and be okay with the money you made, not anxious about the money you could have made. Right? Here's why I say that. So Nvidia got to 217.90, right? I mean, you could have got an in the money call at 215, right? And I would have swung that, right? And you look at it today, it's at 223. Now it was pulling back from 225, 222 to 217. So you're like, whoa, all right, cool. It might go down to 210. It still might. So when you see it revert, right? Excuse me, guys. When you see it revert from 223 down to 217 to back up to 223, you like, you don't know where it's gonna go. It could go up. Their earnings are at the end of August, maybe the first few days of September. So you like, I'll be iffy on earnings. Now I did catch Uber after earnings, which is great, which is why I went down like 68, got in like 68, rolled it all the way up to 74, got back in the position. So I took profit and got back in the position. Oh, and the main point of me telling you that about taking profit versus contemplating about the money that you think you could win. If you have a goal or have a need that will relieve your finances, pay your phone bill, like whatever this is why I was talking about, like when you talk about really getting to the bag, bro, set out why it is that you're here in the market. Are you here to build wealth? Then create an action plan on like, all right, cool. I'm a hit buy on this contract and I'm gonna hit sell on this contract when the profit comes, because I said I was gonna take action and take profit, because my goal, G, is to pay off the phone bill, right? Or a late notice, or pay anything that would relieve your current financial situation. Remember, so the main reason why I did and started Wealthy from Options was to talk about how to build the foundation for your wealthy journey using options as a cash flow method, right? So you can literally create and implement the snowball method that is used to pay down debt through utilizing options. Now, let me say this. I'm a financial advocate, not a financial advisor. Please do your research whenever you hear me talk about it. Full disclaimer, I just do this for entertainment and some educational purposes. Do your research, all right? But I do say that because I've done it, right? Grown small accounts multiple times. It's about $3,000. Biggest was $8,000, at least over like 3 times. So, and I consider this like, let's say I did no initiatives. Let's say I did nothing for the community, and I was only focused on building me first. And that's okay if you are. You could say that I would have about like $40,000. Right to about 40, 30, maybe a little bit more over the time that I've been investing in trading, right? So money comes and goes, ebbs and flows, right? If I would have guessed off the top of my head, I've gone through like each year, maybe 15 or so grand or so, right? But again, it's not wasted because through all that time, I was using my money for initiatives, for growing my business, for things that would suit the mission, right? That's what that was for. Um, but Uber's up. I was up 75%, something like that. Yeah, I think I was up like 75% to profit. I said, okay, I think it's gonna go to at least 380. I probably will exit before I. So my plan is to exit on this trade before the Fed's decision, because the Fed's decision will impact the market. It will impact the market along with what you're seeing, the developed story. So the job market thing is expressing the consumer fear. And the consumer fear is, bro, I don't know where I'm going to land, and is my version of the Great Depression, great economical pullback, um, en route, right? Is my job safe with all these transitions in the job market from not utilizing humans as much and utilizing software? So there's that. Um, The definition of CPI. This is very consumer pricing index, which measures the changes in prices the consumer pays for baskets of goods. There's been a lot of recall. They've been doing a lot of recall, and then they're gonna charge more for the stuff that they've been recalling. It makes going to the grocery store really skeptical. Really skeptical. Yep. So I found it. Okay. So I want to break this down really quickly. The Uber call specifically, as a case study for you guys. So my Uber call originally strike price was 67. It was out to September 25th. My sell price was 750. Estimated proceeds after was like, you know, okay, well, closed at 750. The realized profits was $165. Uh, the original call, the new call I'm in is the 170 call, was priced around like 16. So I'm up more than 61% in the overall session. What worked was the direction. Uber moved strongly to a higher end. The contract had a lot of time, so it moved quicker in a short amount of time frame than the overall time frame that I had on my contract. I was way deeper in the money, so that means that your break-even price was really where you soar. Like I actually could have made a whole bunch more money. But what I expected was just, it stalled out about around the area. Not It got to like 75 and some change. So, and again, don't beat yourself up. If you got to exit, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm near my exit. I got some money. I got my bag back with no loss, and I got extra profit, which I could initially put a trade in. You can do a trade with $100, right? You can do option play with $100. Now, how out the money, in the money, right? Deeper the play, closer you are to where the stock is currently trading, that's going to be different. And how long you're trading. So if you trying to swing trade like me in 30 days, 60, 90, 6 months, a year, that is going to be a Hail Mary kind of toss with $100. But 2 weeks, week, you get the direction right, you get you a decent play. Get you a decent play. So I would say that youth entrepreneurship. So youth entrepreneurship, and this came up. Shout out to Google. So I actually do appreciate um they highlighting and being in the search engine so strong that AI is pushing out these type of articles. So Chicago teenagers are already building businesses. Why aren't we teaching this everywhere? Which is a 100% degree. So Chicago Great Matter Experience held its 10th annual Pitch Black competition on yesterday, August 6th, for the ages 14 to 18. The opportunity to pitch businesses they developed doing organization acceleration. This year, the competition offered $16,000. I know grown people who are shooting for grants, micro grants, $5,000 or less, included, right? And to see them be able to give a funding pot of that big to young entrepreneurs, I absolutely love. Shout out to all of the entrepreneurs at Great Matters. I will appreciate that organization forever as long as I live. They empower over 2,700 young people, supporting more than 113 teen entrepreneurs, and invested roughly over $250,000 into youth ventures through the funding. That's a strong statement that Great Matter is doing to push the initiative of young entrepreneurship. I appreciate that. But this matters, and definitely teenagers need to know about entrepreneurship, know about the things that are possible and accessible to them way before adulting gets in their life and adulting gets heavy for them, right? So if you don't know who I am or what I do, of course, bro, I help teenagers and young adults find their financial confidence. It can be scary in this world, trying to understand how to create stability for themselves, how to create stability while they're trying to go into the workforce as professionals, how to create stability in their lives, careers, otherwise, and the steadiness they need in this financial space, the steadiness they need to know about the dollar. It can be a lot. So this matters because number one, they graduate with a head on their shoulders. They have a better area of understanding of what they want to apply for when it comes to getting a job. They definitely understand about getting paid, earning paychecks. Uh, it helps them. The initiative that they do helps them identify a problem, helps them create something of value, find customers, generate revenue. They can hire people, and they build an asset for the world. It's lovable. I love it. I truly do. And there's so many other things out here in the world that they could have been concerned with, but they chose entrepreneurship. They chose a different path, and I appreciate that. So, last and not least, most importantly, it's August. Support your business, support your homies, support your brothers, support you, black business, right? And it's August, man. Your black business, raise your fist, support your friend, push the narrative, close the wealth gap, and empower the economic futures of all the young boys and young girls who look like me. Support me as well, but supporting me supports them. Supporting me supports the community that is about progress. Supporting me, liking, sharing, subscribing, supports everything that we want to change, right? So on August 15th, the Black Business Empowerment Expo in Bravo will connect entrepreneurs with organizations such as SBDC, Apex Accelerator, uh, Joseph Business School for Finance, Contracting, Technical Assistance Resources. And the state is highlighting specifically the opportunities that Black and Brown entrepreneurs have, and what it will take for them to scale and financial assistance. And everything about the topics that we've been covering for tonight's show is about excellence. It is about what is possible. It is about the things that you can do, we can do as a community to support all of us, from the entrepreneurs that have been out here in the game but still trying to find that feeding, to the youngins who just jumped in the pond and they're trying to swim. Support us, especially if you want them to be their families vehicle, their families push and dream of changing their family's money story. Support them, support us. Shout out to us as the Wealthy Family, and this is Wealthy Sibling, man. I appreciate y'all so much. Okay, keep liking, keep